it's Jen from Old Tinker Studio. In this tutorial, we will be learning about animation nodes in Blender 2.9. This tutorial is using Blender 2.9, but you can also follow along with Blender 2.83. So let's get on with the tutorial. Animation Nodes is a node-based visual scripting system designed for motion graphics in Blender. You can download the Blender add-on from the Animation Nodes website. The link is in the description. For the most part, the interface of the animation nodes is located in the node editor, while other parts of the interface exist in the 3D viewport and other areas of Blender. You can access the node menu editor by choosing Animation Nodes under the Editor Type drop-down menu. To add a new node tree, click on New. You can also rename the node tree in the name field.
What the fuck? Okay, I don't even know how to start using that. This is just a bunch of Python files. What the fuck?
There are 4 tools. On their own, they're dangerous.
Hi, in this video series we will take an early look at Animation Nodes 2.1 in Blender 2.8. First, we have to get it working, and this currently does take some effort. We can download the test build from this address. The link is also down below. And then install the plugin in Blender 2.8 just like we would any other plugin. But
I see. That's how you do it. Box Blender. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So to edit preferences, add-ons. What now? Install.
many things in this test build are not working or even crashing Blender at the moment. In fact, you can't even enable the plugin out of the box. My workaround for this is I use GitHub Desktop to fetch the Blender 2.8 branch of the Animation Nodes repository and then simply copy all the Python files from that repo into the plugin directory of my.
I see. Okay, that's one way to do it. But let's try project shortcuts. What? Okay, what do I install? All of them. Install all of them. Target path. What? This one. Is it doing anything? Fuck. What's this? Oh god, this is so hard. Blender Foundation. See if we can find that directory. God damn it. Yep. 0.1 scripts add-ons. What? extract the whole directory. Yep, chuck that right in there. That should be good.
Blender 2.8 installation, overwriting the files that are there. That way, I get the latest updates while developers are working on the source code of animation nodes. And every time before I start 2.8 and want to use animation nodes, I simply fetch the origin again and check if there's anything new. And if there is, I overwrite the plugin files with the new files again. Once the newest Python files are in the plugin directory, you can enable the plugin in Blender. Of course, if you're watching this at a later time, you will not have to do any of this. Simply download the latest release and install it. If you have never
Fuck, where is it? Maybe restarting will help. There we are. Okay, what now?
installation, overwriting the files that are there. That way, I get the latest updates while developers are working on the source code of animation nodes. And every time before I start 2.8 and want to use animation nodes, I simply fetch the origin again and check if there's anything new. And if there is, I overwrite the plugin files with the new files again. Once the newest Python files are in the plugin directory, you can enable the plugin in Blender. Of course, if you're watching this at a later time, you will not have to do any of this. Simply download the latest release and install it. If you have never used animation nodes before, I can recommend a series of very good tutorials by Zach Hickson, which I will also link to in the description. You should watch his tutorials since they give you a really good overview of how animation node works and how it's meant to be used. Like I said, not all of the features shown there are available for 2.8 yet, but I'm hoping they will be soon. Basically, animation nodes makes it possible to manipulate things in Blender programmatically, but without having to write any code. Instead, we use node trees, similar to the node trees we know and love for creating materials.
What the fuck?
Animation nodes comes with an abundance of different nodes for a variety of different data types and operations, and it can be very overwhelming at first. For people who are familiar with programming, procedures, functions, and loops, animation nodes should not be too hard to get into. The great thing about Blender in general, and animation nodes in particular, is
What is not too hard to get into? I know how to code. I don't know what anything. Don't know what any of this is.
that there are plenty of resources out there to get learning. As the name would suggest, we can use animation nodes for creating interesting motion graphics, but also to quickly generate and manipulate objects, even for still images. I have done that many times in the past, simply because it makes more sense to me to quickly put together a loop to instance and position objects than doing it manually. Now with the speed of Eevee, more and more people will use Blender for creating animations of all sorts of things, and the combination with animation nodes will be simply amazing. Okay, now that we have animation nodes in Blender 2.8, let's check out some features. I have recently posted 2 videos on my YouTube channel of some things I have tried out, and people asked for tutorials on how to make those kinds of things. Since some features don't work at all or not correctly yet, we can only do relatively simple things for now. And I also want to keep these tutorials short and easy to follow. I also have to note that at the moment, with Blender 2.8 in beta and Animation Nodes 2.1 development only just starting for Blender 2.8, rendering crashes regularly with auto execution enabled, and the only solution I could find was to bake the animations to keyframes and disable auto execution while rendering.
I don't know what any of that
Since
means.
this doesn't work for everything animation nodes can do, I had to manually render and save each frame for some final renders, which is no fun. One feature that currently doesn't work is particle systems. The particle data node doesn't produce any output. Audio also didn't work for me. As soon as these things are fixed, I will surely play with them and make more videos. If you are new to animation nodes, I hope you will get a feel for how to use this amazing plugin. And if you already know all about animation nodes, then please let me know if there is anything I should be doing differently. I also want to give a quick shout out to Jacques Lucke and thank him and the other developers for this truly amazing plugin. I will go through a bunch of animations and create a series of tutorials so you can pick whichever one is of interest to you. I will start with the simplest one right here, right now, and get into the more complex setups in the following videos. Okay, let's get started.
Why should you use Miro? Well, when you draw on a whiteboard, no one sees it. With Miro, you plan together.
Here I am in Blender 2.8, and first I'm just going to delete everything. I'm going to set up my